Hello, welcome to Stonehearth Dev Stream 323. Can you hear me? Hello, can anyone hear me? Is the mic working now? I feel like it would be kind of ironic. Alright, now is the... Okay, so I unchecked the mic so that it would actually pick up the voice, and when I did that, right, two mics appeared. So now there's echo. Is there still echo now? Is it better? So as far as I can tell, when I sat down, the mic was muted, so I started talking. Alright, well, you know what? I haven't updated XSplit, and XSplit keeps nagging me to update XSplit, so maybe XSplit was just like, we'll do haunted things to your mic, until you update XSplit, which I guess is a pretty fair way of forcing someone to update. But yeah, you couldn't hear me when the mic was muted, and then I unmuted it, and then two mics appeared, and then, and then I muted it, and then one of those mics disappeared, so that's fantastic. Anyway, hello guys! I'm super happy to be here. I'm super happy to be streaming. It is Thursday night, and we've just had a really, really amazing couple of weeks here on Stonehearth, and I've really enjoyed hanging out with all of you as you guys play multiplayer and hopping into people's games, and hopping into games with my own friends who have been waiting to play Stonehearth until there was multiplayer, so it's been 5 years, and I'm really glad to finally be able to do that. So, for today, whoops, thanks, Windows, I love you too. For today, I want to do some screenshots. So, you guys may have noticed that when you start a game, and it is on Stable Branch, there's a big splash screen, right, that Ali draws that is all of the Hearthlings doing stuff. So I would like to look, we've talked about what to do, with that splash screen, because most of us play on Unstable, and we don't get to see the awesome screenshot, and the splash screen only exists for a little while, and so what should we do? And what should we is the splash screen really a great thing to have at that place? It usually takes Ali an entire week to make one. Is there some alternate or better solution? And so one of the things we've been thinking about is whether we could create a battery of screenshots, really, really gorgeous screenshots, that would represent what the game was about in lieu of or in place of a single splash screen. And this way, it would allow everyone who's worked on the game, potentially, to submit screenshots, and we could put them in a folder, and it would cycle through the folder, and we'd see all of your towns, in addition to, whatever we as the devs decide to create to represent the game. So that's sort of what I wanted to try doing today. Let's see if we can't capture some screenshot that really represents A24. And I have a Discord thread here, which has most beautiful screenshot, and these would definitely be really good candidates. Although I feel like if this is your first shot of the game, maybe the folder needs to start with a screenshot that everyone knows about, or start with a splash screen everyone knows is amazing, like Alpha 20, and then slowly rotate into the less standard ones. So yeah, I was thinking that we could do that. What I'm looking for today is an outdoor scene that shows weather, that shows the new builder, ideally, maybe in some way, they're Hearthlings building a building, and maybe has some cool mod content in it too. So let's just create that together, and you guys can call it advice, and we can do that. In addition to that, I want to do bun names, because as some of you may have seen on other people's streams, Mally and Ali and Luke have been working on buns for a little while now, which is to say Rabbit Clan, and right now all of their names are Cotton Floof and stuff like Lily Floof. I think all their last names are Floof, and actually the buns are kind of cooler than that, though I'm sure that some of them have cutesy last names. Clan Amberstone is an honorable, tough warrior clan of rabbits that have been living underground for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, despite lots and lots and lots of incredible hardship. So, so their name should probably reflect that, in addition to their adorableness. But okay, so we'll get to there. In the meantime, I will start up a game of Stonehearth. Since hopefully this is the game I was playing just yesterday, it won't have any sound to totally blast you guys out, and we can start making screenshots. Okay. So keep in mind that a screenshot, like the primary bulk of the screenshot, probably wants to be in the lower left corner of the screen. As you can sort of see here, like this is the foreground for A24. Like it just kind of fades off into the distance. So, you know, it doesn't have to be a full screen screenshot. It could just be part of a screenshot and we pick what part we want to have appear here, but that's sort of how it goes. Okay, so, all right, as I start up here, I think I want to do at least one of, oh right, I should probably figure out what mods I want, cause if we do Stonehearth, everyone's tunics turn brown, which is awesome, but I want the screenshot to be representative of the Ascendancy. It might be kind of interesting to go through and remake some of the screenshots that we had before, now that we have, like, better fog, better water, better everything. So, let's see. Okay, cool. I'll keep Canyon enabled because it's always great to have Canyon in there. So yeah, so while I'm here, welcome to all of you. It's good to see you all. I'm glad that you're enjoying this game. If you guys have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them. And if you have any comments or stories or thoughts about the stuff that you have been doing, happy to do that too. In the meantime, we're just going to create a single player Ascendancy. The screenshot tab on Steam, says Bruno Supremo. There's some cool images there. I totally agree. It's really pretty epic. Whoops, you know what, let's not make it a normal game because all I want is a screenshot. I mean, I suppose I could get a screenshot of some goblins, but like, you know, that's a hard sell. And I also don't want people to starve while I'm making the screenshot, so let's go with food for days, and we're just going to be cheating like crazy in order to get the screenshots. So please excuse in advance lots of crazy. We're going to be using whetstones and dry stones to create rivers. Yeah, so like one of the things I was thinking is that it might be kind of fun to recreate famous Stonehearth screenshots, famous being like early. So if you look at like there's a picture that I really love that Tom made that was like the very first piece of concept, Stonehearth concepts, that like really sort of stood out to me. It's this one. Like, and I'd sort of be interested in seeing what would this look like if we made it again now. Like, at what scale would we do it? And, you know, whoops, of course the page can't be found, cause, of course, we changed everything, like, in between now and then. It's been 5 years. Okay, so, ooh, that's kind of cute. Like there's like a little island, there's some stuff going on here, here's some more islands. I feel like foothills and steppes and kind of like mountains are also kind of interesting. So, let's try this and see what that does. Ah, hey Coasters Paul, congratulations on finishing your last final 30 minutes before the stream. That's got to be the most recreated Stonehearth picture of all time, as in like lots of other people have tried to make the Stonehearth picture or at least made it in their games. Oh hey, and it's raining, which is very useful, because I also do want to make sure that we have some screenshots that illustrate Stonehearth weather, since this is the new amazing coolness, raininess, wetness, going on in the world right now. Okay. Let's see. I kind of want to place my screenshot in a location where the ground changes. So let's do this. And then let's pause the game immediately. And I feel like there's probably a command that like clears all of the like shadow whatever, but I can't remember what it is, and the rest of my team is playing some stress relief D&D, so let's do this. If any of you guys remember how to clear Fog of War, I should clearly learn it because it would be super useful for all the Desktop Tuesday videos I make. Right? Get some ladders going so that people actually move around. After Mally went and added a whole bunch of hotkeys, I became really grateful because I feel like I didn't used to play with hotkeys, and now I do, and well, like, life is completely better and amazing. Alright, so like you know, one of the cool things, so this screenshot is clearly at a sort of like quarter angle looking down on the world, probably something a little bit like this. So start there. Yes, please do go nuts on screenies. There's like a lot of stuff, and like there's a lot of things that the screenshot could be. And I feel like, you know, a good compromise on that is just to allow a whole battery of them to appear. I should also clarify that, as I say this, I feel a little sad because, you know, Allie loves making concepts, or she loves making splash screens, and I love her splash screens. So, but I do also really love all of your screenshots of your towns. That's also very special to me. So I'm glad to have an opportunity to maybe like have a carousel that shows some town stuff and some of this. Okay, cool. So now you know what I do all day. I use the Stonehearth debug tools to cheat my way like crazy through the game so that I can take really great videos and screenshots for everybody. Alright, there's some sort of pool up here. So let's make one of those. Actually, wait, let's think about this some more. I would like it to be a fairly intimate scene, like covering these areas. And one of the things that is true in this picture, but not true in the game, is like these shelves are pretty short. So like, and we chose not to do that in the game itself. Well, some of the shelves are short, like this, I guess. Maybe that could be that. I'd have to carve a significant amount of land away from this in order to get this to be as short looking as the other one. Well, maybe that works. Okay. Hey, you. Teleport over here. But I do love the rain. And the other thing that we're gonna, you know, do is play with a time slider. So like, you know, to play with the colors and how things look at different weathers and stuff is super useful also for this. Okay. Cool. So if it's a fairly intimate scene, then one of the things I want to do is kind of terraform the ground a bit. So let's destroy some of these trees. I mean, on some level, it's like, if we terraform too much, right, then it's not going to look like Stonehearth, and then that sort of defeats the purpose of the screenshot. And now it just occurred to me that, like, having done that, it won't be green anymore, which is super useful, which would work great, except that, like, whatchamacallit, we actually did just introduce all the terrain colors, kind of like in Relis's mod, which would be great if, like, the grass grew back. We actually did just introduce a whole bunch of terrain colors and stuff in Relis's mod, like what Relis's mod had in the new builder. So you can now use the new builder to, yeah, you don't have the mammoth for the screenshot, so it's a fair question. What is a good replacement for that mammoth? You can now use the new builder anyway to place down, without a mod, like, stuff that is exactly the same color as the terrain, which is really cool. But I have a funny suspicion that that's not enabled in this build, which is kind of awkward. Yeah, no, okay. So that's not enabled in this build, and we just terraformed a bunch of land, and now it's suddenly not going to look like an awesome screenshot. Except, well, I guess unless you think, like, okay, maybe the screenshot should be localized to this area anyway, or maybe we should do it actually here. I probably should have saved. Well, no one ever said that this was going to be easy. But in any case, no one ever said that faking it was easy. Right. I really love the little mining tool. I'm one of the things that we sort of wish were more true was that the little mining tool had like more interactions like the whole tool does. Okay, neat. And what else is in that screenshot is the fact. No? I closed the screenshot, right. Okay. Okay, there's some sort of pond thing going on. Can I get Kitty's mod for the colors, or is it just building colors? Well, what I really want is Relis's mod for terrain colors, to fill in this floor here. So that's kind of awkward. In a worst case scenario, we can just start this now, and then we can do more to get the terrain. Like I can load the save up on a version of the game which has been updated to actually have the terrain colors. You know, unless of course like while we're doing this, like Angelo happens to, you know, like update the game or something like that. No worries. But I can load this save onto a universe that has some sort of thing that will allow us to in another version of the game, which has the which has Ali's new terrain colors, so that I can fake put terrain down. Okay. All right. The end tool for mining is one of my favorites. Like, okay. And this gets a little bit to like drawing roads. That iron is going to be in the way. Yeah, I know. It'll add some natural look to the landscape. Okay, cool. Let's save it now. Okay. I should have some dank music playing during the stream. That's a really good point. Let's see. So at some point, someone did set up a media library playlist for Stonehearth on this computer which was like, that's probably fine, which would have like a whole bunch of Stonehearth playlists on it. But sort of unfortunately, I do not know where that playlist is at the moment. I do know that Windows Media Player has some sort of Stonehearth music playlist on it, but there is like a problem here where every now and then you'll get like really loud sounds and really quiet sounds. But since I'm not talking continuously, let's give this a try, and if it just gets too loud, let me know, and we can do it that way. Let's see. How's that? Oof. Okay. Cool. Yay! Thanks for the suggestion. So there we go. We have the beginning of a of an interesting part of geometry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. That's convenient. Sometimes I forget to insta-mine like the block next door, and then it becomes like a staircase that goes down into a straight solid wall, and then there's nothing else to do there. I also happen to really love these staircases. Okay, now great. Now we have this like really long narrow staircase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, you know what's gonna happen. That's 8. Okay, that's probably better. So I'm kind of curious as to all of the multiplayer games you guys have been playing. Like, have you guys found any particular kind of multiplayer more or less enjoyable than any other kind of multiplayer? Like, for example, you know, is it like people playing different kinds of Stonehearth towns? Anything like that? I'm gonna cheat. Sorry, wait. For slab, something simple like slab, I'm going to cheat and use the old builder, because InstaBuild works on right click in the old builder, and I have to actually go and type IB for the new builder, and that takes a little bit longer. Okay, so we got the beginning of something going on here. Probably the next thing we kind of want is to make sure that we have... Oh, so what else is here that is interesting? Well, there's some houses and then there's some fields in front of them. So, next up, let's use the builder and make some houses. But first, save again, because being paranoid at saving is important. And just so we've got something going in the background, let's put down a whetstone, because those take a long time. We'll just have that slowly start filling this up. And, sometimes you can't hear me when I'm too far from the mic. Yeah, okay. I would believe that. Let's try moving me slightly closer to the mic. Turn down the music a bit. Okay, so I'm gonna let the whetstone go for a little bit in the background, since it's gonna take a while. And in the meantime, what else do we need to do in order to get this to kind of look like this screenshot? Okay, so actually in this screenshot the stairs were a different color than the terrain, so that adds some visual contrast. and the like landscape is a little bit craggier, and there's a little bit more green in random locations. But that's a little bit hard to do, so let's start here. Oh wow, was that lightning? That was totally lightning. That's exciting. Okay, well, and we've got rabbits, so that's always good. Okay, but probably to make this interesting, let's make some houses. So these were like super basic looking houses. I think that the new houses that we have are like a lot more beautiful. Oh, that's always fun. I really love I really love Harold. He's just amazing. How about idealism? And roads are probably going to be an important part of this town, so let's let that go. Okay, cool. And in fact, this is undoubtedly the fastest way to get stuff, because now, like, the UI for the building editor will be populated with all this stuff. Okay, I'm so happy you guys are having like a party because because we have no houses for anybody. All right. Cool. Next up, house design. So, right, definitely saving. Because, like, the really safe thing to do would just be to, like, use some of Ali's pre-built templates because they're, like, honestly gorgeous and, like, what is it? Like, the herbalist's house is, like, ridiculously cute. I feel like it's like, you just kind of like imagine it would be over here on the other side of the thing. Every now and then the lights turn off, but we have more lights, so it's not like it suddenly becomes super dark or anything. Okay. In most of your multiplayer games, your PvP, that's free-for-all, you and your three brothers, because you have debates a lot, and the winner of the war does not need to do his chores for 2 days, and there's grid lines to the matches, and they say you may only have 10. So, like, tell me more about that. Like, tell me more about your PvP game with your brothers. Like, are you using the, are you using, like, the PvP code that I mentioned in the Desktop Tuesday? Like, and how does that go for you? We're gonna put this dry stone here for the moment, but just to prevent it from flooding, but we're gonna move it later. So yeah, Pick of Death, I definitely want to hear more about your PvP games with your brother. Like, you know, you've heard a lot about how we decided not to add PvP to the game for a number of reasons, but that doesn't mean I'm not still interested in how that's going and how people are playing it, because I just think it's really fascinating. Like, this house is really, really, really adorable. Okay, cool. I think it's because it has flowers. There's also just something really beautiful about the rain and the time of day and all this other stuff, and of course people are going in and adding their stuff to the crates on the inside of the house. Okay, so for future reference, like, sunset is always beautiful. I think sunset when it rains is a little bit hard, but like it's just hard to see, but it's still gorgeous. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we were gonna add a couple more houses, like a few more simple houses maybe. Probably the cottage for two is a good. Because you got your cottage for 2 up there, and the road will come around, like... The road will come around this way, and then... Right, so... Let's see, the roads here are kind of like a tan. I think it's really important for Hearthling designated geometries to look really, to only have a certain amount of I guess, wiggle in them, like... I'm super scared that... I'm always scared using the road tool that it's not gonna work, but okay. Neat. I suppose this is one way of calling out the stairs as a highlight, like actively replacing them all with the road tool. Which means I'm kind of sad that we insta-built that last one, but okay, whatever. And there it goes. Quite pretty. I feel like this wants flowers. Pick of Death says, we use mods that make your brothers don't understand the importance of clerics, you can clean sweep them. Yeah, clerics are kind of like the go-to win thing. So, before Luke worked on Stonehearth, Luke is currently our lead designer. He spent a lot of time working on champions for League of Legends, and one of the things that was so, you know, frustrating to him, or frustrating about working on League, is that, of course, like, you know, everything has to be perfectly, amazingly, gorgeously balanced, or, like, immediately people will find an advantage and take that advantage, and there'll be suddenly a right way to play the game. And one of the things that was a little bit of a relief to him when I was like, hey, no, like, we actually aren't planning on having PvP in Stonehearth, is that he could then not necessarily have to worry about the exact perfect right team composition and making combat perfectly 100% balanced, because, you know, it's really, really hard. Okay, so I think I want a couple of the, like, original, like, Ascendancy tiny cottages back here, like this, except to make them go with the screenshot, let's give them the white walls instead. Conservation of tree. Yeah, Chris is about to disable the old builder in the UI, and I'm happy about this because, you know, it's definitely a distraction, and the new builder is so much more amazing. But I will grant you that the old builder has, like, well, I guess I'll do it once the templates are working properly, but I will grant you that the old builder has this amazingly wonderful mechanism to it, whereby, like, you can just like, make stuff work really fast. Do I really want the roof to look that way? I feel like... No? Great, well... That's so strange. And this is why we have a new builder, right? Like... Okay, well that's bugged. But hey, how awesome! Like, not a bug we have to fix. Cool. Alright, if it's gonna be a kind of intimate scene, then we'll want the road to go out in front of these guys. One of the things I didn't do with the road, which I probably should have, is added a bit more, like, stippling to it. Like, right now it's kind of all one color. But it doesn't have to be. It is the old builder, indeed. Alright, so like, it would be a lot more realistic, actually, if we added just a little bit of color, just like that, to make it so that it's not quite also singular. Okay, and then, oops, there are no pools. I can't remember if we got a farmer. Okay. Okay. Well, in any case, it's so funny how they look perfectly square to me, but in fact aren't. They should probably be perfectly square. Sorry. Like, if someone's gonna be staring at this screenshot like a lot, like, let me not hurt them like this. I think it's funny how in a sort of like, it's like, yeah, what is it? Really? Alright, so we'll send the farmer to go do that. Oh, and there's like a little subsection and he's got more fields actually elsewhere. This so that they can start heading over. We'll move these trees just a little bit. Needless to say, when I actually play the game, like, for real, without the debug tools, it's like an entirely new experience for me. Does something weird happen to the water? Like, at some point it became really dark, and not like water at all. Let's save that. Well, see here, okay, we've got a great, like, screenshot of the water, like, suddenly being black and mysterious looking. I'm kind of hoping that this is just the, like, renderer. Oh my gosh, look at all this gorgeous pottery. Okay, well, not right now. Maybe when, like, it gets lighter or darker, like, and we get a different weather, the water will stop looking so ominous. I can still see it, though, so... Well, anyhow. What else were we looking at? Let's see. There were some flowers in the corners of all these buildings. So... now that we have a shepherd, one thing that might be kind of good is... Oh, no, we cannot have a shepherd's pasture there. Okay. Well, we did have much larger pasture here. Let's go in for sheep. And then let's make sure that we have a road that gets there and some fences. We're also going to want some cook feed, which we'll just sort of like leave that over here. That's actually pollo feed, so that's not going to help. I just feel like I'm always, like, I always create these things and, you know. Oh hey, look, the water's back. Well, that's nice. So this probably is a great place to set up as the carpenter's workbench. Except that before I do that, let's make him a slightly nicer outdoor patio area. This color. Carpenter has, as part of their workbench, let's see, a number of, it's like those display shelves, this one, okay, the finished work shelf. like some sort of numlock is on. That's weird. Sorry, I should totally be paying attention to chat. My bad. Let's see. Okay, so usually you like to put 2 of each of the stones to increase the water over the falls. Yeah, that's totally... that is a good thing. Let's see. Probably because at the moment, like, the waterfall feels a little bit anemic, right? Like, it's not coming all the way over. And it hasn't filled up the space either. Yeah, okay. So let's add another whetstone. And see how that helps. And let's put this whetstone down over here for now, just so that, like, it's closer to the area that the water should be overflowing. And that does, in fact, you know, send water over more vigorously, which is good. I feel like if I'm not careful, it'll want a second dry stone. I'll just drop that down. Other things. Water often darkens at night when it first falls, and then right again before dawn breaks. And are the hearthlings getting butchered in the background? I really hope they aren't, because we did in fact, like, oh, that's really cute actually. We did in fact embark in peaceful mode, so hopefully they're not, but I suppose it's always possible. Probably in order to, let's see, garden lantern. Wooden garden lanterns, I think, would be really pretty. Here. Here. We need fences. Let's save before I do the picket fence, because the picket fence is difficult. In fact, let's put the picket fence gate down first, because let's face it, putting in fences is a pain in the neck, and if the gate's down first, then at the very least, we can work the fences around the gate. Chris told me for the first time today that people actually use the picket fences both like this and like this. Like, you guys use both lengths or something. I was very impressed. I've only ever used one length of picket fence, or I've only ever used like the full sided thing. You know, the new fence tool, I look forward to the new fence tool. I too am curious as to what the new fence tool can do. In part because, well, first of all, Nikki unfortunately got really sick recently, so she's been designing the fence tool, and the fence tool is, you could say, like I think she's like, get the fence tool in or die trying, and that joke suddenly became less funny last weekend. So Nikki, if you're watching this, I hope you're feeling better. It turns out that I had a conversation with Chris, and he was feeling really frustrated by the way that the fence tool was working out for him because of things like this. So we're just gonna ignore that for the moment, and hope that this is just an accurate Stonehearth screenshot. Like, And he was feeling really frustrated by the fence tool, and he was feeling really like unsure about exactly where to take it. And so I hope you're back soon so that you can come and help him with it. But yeah, the herbalist's house should probably have some flowers outside of it. So anyway, yes, we would like the new fence tool to not create incredible amounts of pain the way that the old fence tool does. And so therefore, we would very much like it to handle fences of various sizes so that you don't have to constantly feel like you need to make a new kind of like redo all of your fences because you were off by one the last time. It seems like appropriate that the herbalist should have flowers outside their house, right? Okay, cool. Let's also put in some bird baths. Okay. Yeah, how bad is it? It's not great. I hope she feels better soon too. Let's see. Oh, like all of them? You mean like the fences? Let's see. Right. Like the 9 square patch fence. Yeah, there's also like some sense of like, okay, well, maybe like we could just start with the corners. Like if you imagine the fence tool was like a thing where you drew out a rectangle on the ground, you could put a post in the corners, and then it's like, okay, like there's gonna be a post however many fences away, and then we're just gonna put a gate down in the middle, and like not everything has to be like a 2-length fence or what have you. Yeah, so right. So I've learned my lesson. You know, the wall supply shelf, like it doesn't actually, like, well, like, and all other things, like if you try to use the, like, place, like if you try to use the teleport thing to place them, like it doesn't place quite right because, of course, like, because it doesn't go onto the wall correctly with the fake tools. Let's see, crate, I think. Ooh, what if we did fine crate? Sounds kind of cute. Okay, that's kind of adorable. Alright, so we've got like some sort of like pasture animals here, and so, you know, we actually do have a mammoth. It's just really kind of small right now. And it's also not rigged. And there's also the baby mammoth, which also has problems. Like you can see that one of its ears is sort of like off. So let's not put them down. But we certainly do have sheep, and we could probably stand to have some more sheep. Right? Fix the place tool. It's like, it's just so frustrating when it doesn't work right. Okay, so anyway, excuse me. We should probably get the banner in the screen somehow. Okay, so got some sheep. Let's add some more sheep just because I don't know if the, like, shepherd will actually shear these sheep as compared to those sheep. Okay, and now we're gonna go back and make some more road. No coughing. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty terrible. You can tell things get more official the closer they get to the herbalist's house. Cool. So now we have roads. They're not all quite the right color, which is a little bit unfortunate. But, well, our net worth is doing great since we're cheating like this. Let's see. Okay, what else? Probably actually... Well, a bunny statue. That's fabulous. You know, I wonder... So there's like a tool that Mally showed me recently that you can use to rotate things. Yes. I wish I'd known about this tool a long time ago because it's so fabulous at like at helping Hearthlings face the camera, which is otherwise a little bit difficult to do. Yeah, so this didn't turn out so great. But I do think that the lake is working really well. Probably any screenshot we want is like focused up here, or focused in this area anyway. Okay, so what else do they have in the screenshot that makes this look more interesting than it is? Oh, there's some deer in the woods. Well, we got caribou now. Or we did anyway. And maybe some rabbits. And then there were just loose sheep. And let's see. Oh, there's a well. Well, we kind of don't really have a well. But we do have a blacksmith's forge, which is kind of awesome. And then, of course, there's berry bushes. Which, of course, never appear up here. But we'll do for now, because someone placed them there, undoubtedly. And it's interesting looking. I like the rabbit statue peeking out from behind everything. Let's see. Gotta teleport these guys so that they're not in our picture. Froggy has a well in the cooking mod. Yeah, the sheep are marching out of the village. Okay. Let's save again, because you never know. Alright, what else did they have in the screenshot? There were some crates. Okay. Again, the large crates and the small crates. Large crate. I guess it just sort of like, having the crates around makes it feel like the world is more lived in. Like, yes, like, we store things. Indeed. got like some park benches. Here we go. Alright, I think we got a really good vignette going. It doesn't really show the new builder, unfortunately, because no one's building anything at the moment, but I suppose we could fix that by having a structure kind of like go up in the corner. So you say use mods that make the map smaller so you can get it done faster, but every time we fight we add a different mod that adds different weapons so no one will know who has the advantage and disadvantage, but we have to agree to that mod. That's really cool, actually. Floating bench at stairs, you say? Wow, good call. Thanks. That would definitely make the, make it a little bit more difficult. There we go. We have 20 minutes of peace before we start to attack each other. Your brother tries to attack you first to get out. You snowball them because you get everything from the person you've beaten. I am, like, you're doing this in Stonehearth? Like, I'm super impressed because like I said, there are lots of things that we felt like, if we wanted to make PvP, there are lots of things that we felt like we would need to add. And having sort of like, having lots of different ways of interacting with people in PvP so that it wasn't just like, and then I hit you and you're Hearthlings and they die, was on our list, or at least were things that we talked about. And they were things that we felt like we weren't able to really include. So if you're finding ways of doing that, like with the game, even without other, like, without support from the game, like, as a side, that's really cool. Yeah, I'm really not playing the game. I'm playing the game the way that I play every week when I make Desktop Tuesday, which is to say I'm creating a vignette, to use in a thing. And in this case, I expect the thing to be a splash screen, and I would like this splash screen to illustrate a bunch of the things that happened in this alpha, such as oh, we should have some non-horned deer, such as weather and like the new builder and multiplayer. But I feel like part of the problem here is yeah, like when we make burgers look good for commercials, exactly that. Part of the thing here is, well, like, this can showcase weather and it can showcase the new skybox, but it doesn't really showcase multiplayer because no one else is here in this town with my Hearthlings. So I suppose one way we could do that is to create citizens and have them be Raya's children, but another way we could do that is to have one of you all join me here, except it's 7:05, have one of you all join me here and have your characters, like, suddenly pop in and then have them appear in this town. Although in that case we probably should have set up a different town that had, like, Raya's Children stuff inside of this. This game does have multiplayer. We just added it, actually, to which we are very, very proud. We're very proud that we added it, insofar as, like, well, for a long time we thought it was going to be really, really, really difficult to have multiplayer in a building simulation game, because it's like, well, what does that really mean? Like, what does it mean, like, do you have, like we were worried that it wouldn't make much sense to have a game in which you were God, basically, like, have other people in that game with you. But it turns out it was fine. Okay, Cool. So great. We have something that begins to approximate a town that I might use as a vignette. Just trying to add some visual interest there. Very cute. Berry bush. I feel like something needs to be going on up here a bit. Would it be too grim if there was like a tiny graveyard? Like, that seems a little bit like dark. Especially given the bucolicness of this original scene. Let's see. I guess we can have like a collection of crates. Right, so we have sunny rain, we have sun, we have clouds, we have rain, we have thunderstorms, we have sandstorms. We added a lot of things in Alpha-24. It's kind of amazing, actually. We have snow. So I feel like, okay, we're almost to the point where I feel like this is getting to look like a screenshot that I would be proud to take. We just need something that fills this space over here. What of our giant collection of stuff would look good? I do kind of wish we had pumpkins. Like, where'd the pumpkins go? A rock. When it snows, does it affect friction, or can players hurl snowballs to play with others? No, alas. No snowballs in this section. More like... Yeah, you know, I'm gonna do it. Tom's gonna be like, what's wrong with you? Have the fancy park benches. Okay, so who knows what's going on in there? Anyway. I actually think these guys are too ornate. Sorry. Just regular park benches. I don't know, you tell me. I have no idea what's going on here. Okay, it's getting late. Alright, let's see. Okay, so let's pause here for a moment, and we can debate or whether or not, like, we should have a funeral and some sort of church and some sort of, like, storage container. Like, is it gonna be like a warehouse docking space? Is it like a place where people are, like, graciously respecting the graves of other people? Is it like a park area? Like, I feel like, you know, it's like it's like a storage park cemetery, right? That's not sketchy at all. Oh, you know, that could actually be really pretty. Maybe we should do that instead. Like, tell you what, let's do one of those. 'Cause, like, that's actually probably for the best. Alright. Like one of Allie's beautiful fountains. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. It's like, it's really weird, right? Like, well, maybe it's not weird. It just depends on how you feel about cemeteries. How do you feel about cemeteries? Actually, one thing that we do when we visit my husband's family in Iowa is, we go visit, like, cemeteries, and it's like, oh, like, people have lived here for a really long time, and it's really kind of interesting and cool, and it's like, also, like, it's a cemetery, so I guess you get to decide whether or not you feel freaked out. Okay. A flower garden type thing, like maybe further in the front. A single crypt. Is the crypt an item? Yeah, it is, actually. Well, okay, cool. Let's put that here in the background. Cause, you know, it's important to know where your crypts are. so we've got a good selection of sheep, and we've got a good selection of hearthlings, and like there's a lot going on here. And how about some outdoor eating areas? So, vegetable tagine, delicious. Okay. Stone tables. Okay, so let's actually, well, first we should save, but do not show hearthling paths, because we're about to take some screenshots, and play again. Close this. So this is actually really pretty, I think. Maybe we don't need all of these. Alright, everyone's going. Okay. So, wow. Well, the deer are moving in on the carpenter space. But I mean, do you really blame them? A lamppost by the fountain. Well, there are definitely lampposts in Anna's mod, but I guess that's like this one. What mods you thought we'd already have, and I'm surprised no one has made yet? For you, Pokemon. Everyone has a Pokemon mod somehow. No lions were harmed in the construct of this table. That's a really good question. I feel like I've seen a lot of people adapt Stonehearth style to different things, so like I really enjoyed like, you know, Froggy's like Starfleet thing. The mod that I keep wanting to make is like the Normandy crash site mod, so like, you know, because I'm a huge fan of Mass Effect, like I just figured that at some point you'd find like the giant crashed SR2 Normandy somewhere in the distance, and like a nice blue alien would come up to you and be like, "Hi, I'm looking for supplies. Like, we seem to have lost our way, and oh, you've got sheep. Well, actually we're looking for, you know, like palladium or whatever, but sheep will do." Too grim with the headstones. Yeah, I feel like it's just there to be like just faintly out of sight. I also feel like the problem with this town is that like if you think about the splash art, like the splash art kind of disappears into the upper right, like it's supposed to be concentrated in the lower left corner, so like the fact that the town is oriented this way is actually, it should probably be mirrored. So, you know, if you see it and it's mirrored, that'll be why. But yeah, so in order to take a good screenshot, we should pause the game. We should get people to all face each other and interesting directions. So like this person, for example. Like, we could certainly make them lonely. I don't know why the farmer is standing there, but, well, you know. It's important to know that that you can stand wherever you want. We want you just poking through the trees, just a little bit. Where'd the normal deer go? Who knows? Ah, here we go. there's some people running around down here. This lady is shearing the sheep. Cool, there's a tree, there's some boxes. Alright. Saving again, now that everyone is posed correctly. So I feel like this would be the Legend of Zelda view. Like straight on, like exactly in this direction. Alright, now the deer is stuck in the upper pond. Right, okay. Anyone see any more things that shouldn't be here or should be inappropriate for making a screenshot? Next screen, we're gonna... a little bridge across the bottom of the stream. That'd be kind of cute. I agree. Except then we'd probably have to make a road that goes there. So... The fountain's blocked by the tree. Yeah, I want the fountain to be just barely visible. Like it wasn't built to just be seen from this angle. Except it totally was. But like, you know. Oh, I know. Perfect. You want a city builder in the style of A Link to the Past? Yeah, so did I. So do I think. I just want everything in the style of A Link to the Past. Like, can I have, like, a dating sim in the style of A Link to the Past? Can I have an FPS in the style of A Link to the Past? Like, yeah, maybe not an FPS. Maybe, like, just a, you know, side shooter for realism. Exactly. You gotta know, right, that this stuff is in there. Okay, so, cool. Saving again. And then let's actually open Photoshop so I know that we're getting the screenshots in a location that I'll be able to find them later. And then we should use Alt-Z in order to get rid of the UI so that when we take a screenshot it actually works. And then we're gonna have to Alt-Z back because of course we'll want to change the time and we'll want to change the light, so okay, so I'm gonna maximize the window. I'm gonna pull this over. I can still see you guys, it's just over here. The most annoying thing ever, wood on rooftops. Like, it is definitely annoying. Is it the most annoying thing ever? I would probably count the hearthlings not doing stuff as the most annoying thing ever. Okay, so basic screen. And let's stick this into dev stream. Okay, and then let's get the, like, you know, this version of it, the slightly rotated version. Oh, I see what you mean about the tree now. Okay, of course I can't see it because, you know, I can't see the UI. But, okay, Alt, print screen again. Splash 2. Okay, and then let's do a close-up on the super proud, like, dude standing at a workbench that isn't his at all. Oh yeah, it's actually, like, there's a lot of good stuff going on here. Okay. cool. Alright, next, we'll take this back, and let's change the time of day. So, here it is around sunset. Let's take this again, because it's kind of gorgeous. Except that we should remove the UI. Okay, and then let's take it at sunrise. Some more of the horizon in there. Actually, I think I like sunrise best of all of these so far. Alright, and then, let's actually change the weather. So, let's see. That would be Stonehearth, weather, switch to Stonehearth, weather. Let's see, let's try foggy first. Well, that really looked more like windy, but I see. So watch how it slowly transforms to foggy, like the white. Slowly going. Alright, now you can see the crypt in the background, that's pretty good. Gonna pause it. Alright, so what time of day do we want it to be when it's foggy? Well, nighttime foggy is kind of fun. Daytime foggy, probably like... Sunset foggy is not particularly interesting. Alt enter gets rid of the Windows border. Yeah. Yes. I guess I just kind of like wanted... Let's see, so now it's full screen. Yes. Okay. I guess I just kind of wanted it to... I always want to know, like, oh my, like, is it... And of course, the day moved on, so like everyone's in a different location. But hey, those two people are thinking about stuff, so that's always good. We're gonna teleport this guy up here. Right, okay, so now we've got foggy scene, which is kind of gorgeous, just for just a softer look. Alt Z again. Okay, and then back we go. So, what if we didn't want foggy weather? What if we wanted, I guess, rain? Oops. Give it a moment. There it goes. Sorry, guy. You get to be up there, your gorgeous splash of blue. Alright, so there it is in the rain. And you can see the Necromancer crypt, like, emitting green fumes in the background. I actually really like how the raindrops are like, they're right in front of the camera, so, you know, they go wherever you go and you get that wonderful matrix effect. I also feel like I can practically hear it. should escaping sheepies. It's true. They're moving. They really would rather not be here, I guess, in the rain. It's kind of interesting how what's going on with the water too as I zoom in now. Probably because there's fog going on. Like the whole landscape is just, you know, looks more interesting with all these atmospheric effects. All right, how about at different times of day? Let's see. So that's rain in midday, rain at night. Sunset's again really gorgeous, but I think a little bit too strange for the rain. Like I feel like if this were the splash screen, it would be kind of dull. But anyway, all right, let's try snow. In fact, let's do blizzard so that everything turns white a little bit. Oh, the animals are kind of sad. I suppose another complete way of doing this is to stick it so, you know, like, there wasn't a bridge, but they treat it like a bridge anyway. I guess another way of doing this might be to, like, stick a GIF on there instead of like just one screenshot or a montage of screenshots. But I want to get the ground to be a little bit whiter before I take the next screenshot. I do like how the sky slowly fades to white. That's kind of pretty. The sheep are definitely escaping. There's a fence at the top left corner. Oh, weird. Cool. Thank you for seeing that. Okay, great. The question is, does the snow look like anything? Like when it's, you know, just a still view? Or like, do you really need to be like, oh my god, like, look, it's snowing. It's not just that there's like a white fuzz over everything in my camera. Sorry. Also speed it up so that we get snow faster, or we get white on everything faster. The ground will lighten. You can't overlap the fences anymore? Ah. No, I'm not gonna do all the screenshots again. Like, oh my goodness. Alright, well, so, you know, sunset's really pretty when it's snowing. I like how these people are talking about beds. It's like, okay, yes, well. I do think it's important to get those little, to get the little patches under the trees. And I feel like we should have some Rise Children Sandstorm thing too at some point. But let's also make sure that we catch the time at different times. Oh my god, it's like so bright. I think that's too stark. Like it's like the light is nearly green instead of yellow. But it does give you a sense of how white the snow is, which is important, I think. Okay, cool. I think we have a town with a reasonable number of pictures, and that showcase weather, if not building, and multiplayer, and maybe we will find some other ways of depicting multiplayer, perhaps pictures of towns with like multiple things in them, like, you know, Rise Children style right beside Ascendancy style. Or maybe we'll just take some pictures from our multiplayer playtests where everyone's just kind of like all hanging out together. Anyhow, cool. Alright, we were gonna do bun names. Alright. Okay, sweet. Alright, so, bun names. Cause not everyone's named Cotton Floof. To sort of like prep thinking for bun names, let me see. Well, I should probably describe Clan Amberstone, and Clan Amberstone is a group of ancient rabbit people who have been living underground for a long time. They're very honorable. There's warriors and geomancers and archers, and they're quick and they're clever, and they've been just hiding down there for a long time because, you know, like thousands and thousands of years ago, they were chased away from the surface world by the same sort of evils, titanic evils perhaps, that are currently going to plague your Hearthlings. So yes, I am looking for names for male rabbits, female rabbits, and surnames. Whitetail works. Easter May. I think Easter's a little bit too on the spot because Easter belongs to our world, not their world, but maybe Esther. Burrow Warden's good too. Peter too on the nose. Peter's a bit on the nose. Maybe Petter. Long ear. Yeah. Gizmo's a bit too to the point, I think. If you want to look for maybe like thematic names, you could use Russian names or Japanese names also. Wood's good. Not Thumper. Briarberry's good. Like, I feel like Austin and Bella kind of like stand out a bit here as perhaps not really belonging to, you know, a Russian or Japanese culture. But hey, let's start there. And it's like, oh, well, Austin, yes. Carl. I'll do Hickory down here, though. I don't know if, like, these go with that, actually, come to think of it, so that might be something that we might want to look at. Certainly, these surnames work, just in general. Right, so, bun names. So, portmanteaus, like, if they're Clan Amberstone, like, you know, two English words put together might work for that, too. Oop, oh, that was a female given name. My bad, sorry. Oh, cool. Alright. Hey, every little bit helps. I confess that it's really pretty bad. Like, they're Clan Amberstone, they're the, like, you know, rabbit clan. They're, like, dignified and amazing and stuff, but, like, I do confess, like, I really do love all the XKCDs that are about buns. Like, it's like, oh, the great bun, the giant bun. And so, like, I refer to them as buns. Juiced. Yeah, Crystal Tail. That's good. I refer to them as buns, and I know that that trivializes them, which is, like, a little bit unfortunate. But I suppose that's what you get when you're a rabbit and you are in a human game. Like, people might not understand you and your culture, and I'm very sorry about that, really. Okay, cool. Alright, so let's save this. Closing out Stonehearth for now. Got lots of things. Oh, Tali, that's good. Whippear. Maybe Whippear. Yashin. That's good too. Ah, you guys are good at this. You can just say they're talking about their bakers when you call them buns. Yeah, I know, right? It's like there's so many bun jokes, and I think the funny thing is that the buns, I'm sure you've seen from some stream, to me, they ended up looking like mochi. Like, it's like they just look incredibly edible. Like, they're all like soft pastel colors, and they're like frosted with white, and it's like, oh my god, I could just eat you up, which is also probably really not funny to the buns. Mara works. So anyway, cool. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Ooh, Swiftfoot. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I really enjoyed hanging out with you. Thank you for being patient with me as I stared at the screen for long periods of time. Yeah, Mochi, that would... maybe when the buns have pets, or if the buns ever get pets, we can do that. Thank you for putting up with me as I stared at the screen for long periods of time, decorating my town, as I so often do. And I hope that you guys continue to send really beautiful screenshots to that thread on discourse.stonehearth.net, because I do look forward to someday creating splash art that constantly updates with all of the gorgeous things that you guys do. Alright, good night. It was wonderful hanging out, and there'll be a Dust Up Tuesday next Tuesday. There will be a stream next Thursday. There won't be a Dust Up Tuesday the week after, because I'm traveling, but I look forward to seeing you again then. Okay, bye guys!